Let's rock.
Got this pulled up. We're going to do 7 rounds. We're going to say middle of the pack for all these. And I like doing randomness at nothing here because PFF has been absolutely throwing me for a loop on like who they're taking, basically.
We had a weird one when I was on the Monday mock a few weeks ago with Dom and Green Bean.
Yeah.
I feel like I should I skew the public higher than the PFF board? Do you think that would help with like the no quarterbacks going?
What is the
So the first metric is public versus Pro Football Focus board. And I think because the quarterbacks via PFF's rankings are so much lower, that's why they wind up going after us. And
yeah, so put that. I would skew that all the way to the public.
All right.
And then what's the next one there?
Care for positional value.
Yeah, I think you want that a little higher too. All right? You want the quarterbacks to be
okay.
We'll throw it there.
You know, the quarterbacks.
Draft for needs, then, I feel like is fine in the middle.
Drop it down one.
Down one? All right.
Yeah, let's go down.
All right.
Fuck it.
I like this.
I like it. Let's see where we're going here. All right. No trades. We're going right through. So first picks, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, McMillan, and Ginty off the board. Jets are going to have
no Sanders?
No Sanders. Sanders is still there. So, Dom, I win this bet right now. Matt, I feel like I'm losing the bet. It's with you, though.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot for you. It's looking like 2.
Yeah, 3.5 is going to seem kind of rich at this point. But board falls like this. We're going to assume no trade down here. And let's just say we stick and pick at 7. What do you think the selection ultimately ends up being? Matt, we'll go to you first. Then we'll go to Dom. Then I'll give you guys my thoughts.
I think it's between 2 guys. I think it's between Tyler Warren and Armand Membou. I would rather go Tyler Warren. I think the Jets, I could see them going Membou here. So I'm curious to see what you guys, what your takes are on it. But if we're like voting for this and we're doing it ourselves, my vote would be for Tyler Warren.
Dom, what about you?
I kind of sided with exactly what Matt said. However, I'm going to be that guy because I think if Shedeur Sanders on the board, he's part of the conversation.
Ooh, okay.
So I do. I'm not saying we should take him or I would take him. You know, if I'm sticking, to the integrity of my board, it's going to be Tyler Warren or Mike Green. And I don't know if I'm going edge this high.
E-Boogie wants us to know tight end. I would positional value wise, it's hard for me to pass on Membou given the sub 5 second 40 and like the company that he puts himself in by having that type of athleticism. But to me, I think Warren and the hope that you don't have to invest so many premium assets into the tackle position. Man, I've been saying Membou. I'm gonna lean Warren here, and I think that's sort of where you guys were going. I think as well. Yeah. Need a pass catcher. It's a nice little safety valve for Justin Fields. I feel like he is a statement player by the way of like the way he blocks, the way he emphasizes everything in his game. I think it helps Fields a lot in multiple facets. So we'll go Fields here. Now the Jets are on the clock at 42. Amenwari goes off the board before us. Tyleik Williams goes before us. Let's see. Is there a position that we're leaning at this point? I would like to see wide receiver personally taken. So Higgins would be high on my list right now. Let's go to Dom and then Matt.
Yeah, I mean, in a situation where I start Tyler Warren, I always lean either wide receiver or, again, for me, if I'm going to look on the defensive side, I'm going to look either in the safety room at an Amenwari or a Winston if they're both, either of those are available, or an edge rusher. I would stay away from the interior defensive line just because I think there's so much value to be had later on in the draft. I don't know if it's a position that you need to spend. It's a deep draft. It's a great class this year. I don't know if it's something that I need to spend a top 45, top 42 pick on. So I'd probably lean Higgins here as well if he's on the board. I'd be fine with guys like Higgins. I'd be fine with guys like Jalen Royal as well, although it might be a little bit early for him. He's in this realm. Even a Jack Besh, I think is fair value right around here. But I just like, I happen to like Jaden Higgins a whole heck of a lot. I think he complements Garrett Wilson very well. He gives you that prototypical X boundary receiver that you have. He can get off press coverage. He showed that he's fast. He showed that he can separate. He's not like your typical, Kenny Galladay or Allen Robinson type X receiver where you don't know if he's gonna, be able to get off press coverage. I think that in Jaden Higgins. So he's the way I would lean.
Matt, what about you?
I am also on the Higgins train. Just to echo kind of what Dom was saying, there's a bigger outside receiver, which is what I think the Jets would be targeting in the draft to pair with Garrett Wilson. So this would make a lot of sense. Did Jack Besh come off the board, or is he also still available?
Yeah,
okay.
he went to the
I didn't
Patriots
look if he was.
38.
I was just kind of giving you a tier when I was saying Besh.
Yeah, because those guys are really close for me. I might have leaned Besh, but if he's gone, I think Higgins makes the most sense in my opinion.
The other guy that I think provides its value, but it's a premium asset that I don't necessarily want to devote. Revel's an interesting character in the second round.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about him, Dom?
I love Savon Revel. I think he's really, really good. I think he's he's prototypical in terms of his size, speed, length, very multiple, can play press man, can back off in his own. I think he's got, really, really good ball skills. He's coming back from an ACL, so does that hinder his progress in the NFL? I don't know, you'd be worried with a cornerback who's so reliant on clicking and closing and changing direction so much to be on there. Plus the fact that we have, like I said, we've already paid 2 cornerbacks and we're probably going to pay a third, maybe top of the market. So I could see it. I could see cornerback being a position that's maybe addressed if the value is right later on in the draft, but I don't know if you need to spend the capital here. To me, I think that if it's not Higgins or a tackle that you absolutely love here, this to me is the spot where you could see 𝐒𝐿𝐺 trade down.
Interesting. We're going to go Higgins here. We're not going to make any trades tonight. Now we're in the third round, pick 73. I know where I'm going here, but I want to hear from, we'll go Matt first, then we'll go Dom.
Okay. Trapilo and Collins are jumping out to me a ton. With right tackle, though, in the spot where it is, I don't think you can wait any longer on tackle, where I think you could still find a pretty good interior defensive lineman in the 4th round. So to me, I'm going Trapilo. I know that kind of feels like chalk. I feel like every one of my mock drafts right now is Warren, a wide receiver in the 2nd round, and then Trapilo in round 3. But that would be my vote as well.
Dom, you thinking something similar, or where's your head at?
Yeah, I like Ozzy Trapilo a whole bunch, and I'd be completely content with him. I think the guy that no one talks about enough, and he's somebody that there's actually 2 guys that I have graded a little bit higher than Trapilo. I don't know if they're both on the board because I can't see your board really. One is Jonah Savanea.
Yep, he's still
from Arizona, and the other one who nobody talks about, which I think is he's a really, really good player, is Anthony Belton, the tackle from North Carolina State. You talk about like power profile, that's what you're getting in Belton. He's 6'6". He's pushing 340 pounds. He's got power from the ground up, really, really strong, violent hands. His build and his play style reminds me a lot of JC Latham, and you guys both know how much I love JC Latham as a prospect. I mean, he's going to be a guy that, just the way just the force that he plays with, and the displacement of defensive linemen that get in his way. For a guy that big, he shouldn't move as well as he did. So I don't think being in a wide zone blocking scheme is going to hurt him. So if it's tackle, I'm okay with any of those three guys. Now, people I know and in the chat, I'm sure are going to say Salvonet is going to play guard. Salvonet is a tackle who can play guard, and he's even come out and said, "Yeah, I like playing guard too." He's even come out and said that. But you know what? What's the worst case scenario? Is that he competes for the right tackle spot with a core of 4, and at worst, there's your pipeline guard for the 2 spots that might be open up next year.
A lot of potential. Just getting a good offensive lineman would be an absolutely massive thing for this team. I'm going to say no to Belton just because he's only played left tackle, and I'm looking for a right tackle or potentially guard. I don't really want to have to spell this guy's last name for the foreseeable future, so Trapillo is going to be the draft pick for me. It's been one that's been a common.
Fair enough.
Dude, I've been on Ozzy now for since my first mock draft. That was the guy that I kept.
He's really good. He's really good too. Ozzy Trapillo, if you don't know him as prospect, he's so good. And again, we talk about power profile. He's got it. He's really strong. He's long, almost 35-inch arms. So you're getting 2, ideal height, length, weight guys to anchor your offensive line. That's fine. The problem with Trapillo is that he's 6'7" and change. So he's got those tall tackle problems. He loses the leverage battle a lot. So he's not, like that is a thing, and I think that could be something that he might struggle with at the next level. And I'm just saying, I'm just being, completely transparent and fair. I'm not saying you should shy away from him. I think he's a great player.
Hennessy comes in, says, Dom, where would you take linebacker, safety, and defensive tackle in this draft?
Yes, Hennessy. I'd take them all. I would look as early as round 2 for a safety. Like I said, if there's guys on the board, I really like Kevin Winston a whole heck of a lot. Again, he didn't play last year a lot, battled a back injury. So he's got to show that he's healthy. But the way he fits the run, he's a bigger safety, 6'2", 210, almost linebacker size, really. And he plays that way. Super athletic. He can run. He's adept in man coverage as well. So he can cover running backs. He can cover tight ends. He can cover big slots without question. Versatile enough to play, on the post in 2 deep or up in the box. Even some free in some situations. So he's a guy that I happen to be a lot higher on than the consensus. And then Emenwari is, I think Winston's a lot more nuanced and a lot more advanced of a run defender than Emenwari. Emenwari is going to have some games where, at least his film shows that, the run fitting isn't really, up to snuff. A lot of Ashton Davis type bad angles and over pursuits and stuff like that. He's also for a big guy, he doesn't lay the wood as much as you would like to see. He's a little bit of an ankle biter, if you will, kind of a dive tackler. But man, the athletic profile on him is just sick.
E-Boogie says safety here. Top safety on the board would be Jonas Sanker, Virginia. That's a green bean guy. I don't particularly. I put it this way: the 4th round is where we started talking about. This is where I want to start going defense. Harold Vannon Jr. still on the board at pick 110. I wouldn't hate double dipping at tight end, but you do have questions as far as how many balls can you actually spread around in a Justin Fields style offense. And I think that's where I sort of get hung up. So as much as I want Fannin Jr. as an additional tight end, I think Sanker would probably be my pick here. Dom, we'll go to you first, then Matt.
I'd probably lean here. This is where I'm. I don't know if the value in the safety room is like Sanker's good. Don't get me wrong. He's not bad. He's not a guy I'm pining for. I don't know if the value's good for him here. I mean, Billy Bowman is another safety that I really, really like. Again, but he might be a little bit redundant to what you have in Andre Cisco. I think he's more of a free, true free safety. I would look here along the defensive line, whether it's the interior. You're going to need, you're going to need a backup 3 tech to Quinnen Williams right now that Solly Thomas is gone. It probably wouldn't hurt. I don't know if the 1 tech is as big of a need as we all think it is now. I mean, I'm not saying Derek Nottie is like the savior, but he's going to get he can take some of those reps. We also have Fedarius Mathis is a guy that, we forget that we have there. And he's a true 1 tech. He was on our practice squad the last few weeks of the year. He'll be given an opportunity to play next to Q where he did in college. So I would lean either a 3 tech here or an edge rusher. Edge rusher is a real sneaky need, if you ask me.
Gelati would be the top edge rusher, and Quandarius Robinson.
Q Robinson, yeah. Q is a little bit of probably not an every down type guy. I think he's probably going to be more of a pass rush specialist. Huge power profile. He's good. I just don't know. He's still a little bit raw. I would absolutely love Ashton Gelati out of Louisville. I don't know if he's on the board here. I can't see it, but
top guy.
Guys like Gelati, guys like Braden Swinson out of LSU, guys like Elijah Roberts out of SMU. These are the guys in the 3rd, 4th round that I think can come in and pay dividends right away.
Matt, your thoughts on position / player you'd want to go with here?
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to think defensive side of the ball. And the 2 names that jumped out to me was one that you mentioned in Sanker at safety, just because I think he is more of a stylistic fit for what they need right now.
He's a box guy. Yeah,
right. Exactly. And I feel like that complements what they already have with Cisco and Tony Adams and guys like that. So I think he fits what that room is lacking. And then Jamari Caldwell. I know that's a Talkin Jets fan favorite, and I like the idea of adding beef on the interior of the defensive line. So I would say one of those 2 guys have my vote.
So I'm gonna go. So if I'm the deciding vote here, we'll split the difference. Let's go Jamari Caldwell. Defensive line, not quite the edge yet. I do like going edge, so I do think I agree that is a big need for us. We're gonna go Caldwell here. Pick 145, top player on the board, Quinn Ewers, sitting there for the Jets in the 5th round. Then other guys you got the running backs. Billy Bowman is still there. That might be the pick at safety at this point. What do you think, Dom?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, if Bowman's sorry, I went down the wrong way. If Bowman's on the board, I think he's in consideration. I also, like I said, I'll stress again, the edge is going to be something that we need to bring bodies in. I think the interior of the offensive line is another area where you can bring bodies in as well. Again, you have Simpson and AVT both on 1-year deals. My guess is you're not going to re-sign them both. So you better have line to step in. If the other one walks, you get your comp pick. Let's start playing that game a little bit and building pipelines.
All right. So let's
and I would choose and I would obviously, if you want to go to safety, if Sanker's still on the board, I'm with Matt. I get it. I get the fit. I like the skill set of Billy Bowman, so I'm fine with either one of those. If you're going to go interior offensive line, Miles Frazier, without a doubt, is my guy here. 5th round, 4th, 5th round is probably where he's going to land. I don't know where they have him. They might have him all the way down, but
209, it looked like they had him.
Yeah, he's still there. Matt, position group or player that you like here?
Yeah, I think safety is still in play. The thing that sucks is, Bowman feels kind of redundant. Who's the next safety available at that? Stout.
I think he's more of a cornerback.
Okay.
Upton Stout is going to be he's going to be one of those hybrid nickel / free post safety, kind of like Brian Branch-esque skill set.
Okay.
I feel like after those guys, safety kind of falls off. So we might be hitting a dry spell for safety at this point.
RJ Mickens round 6 dart throw territory.
Yep, that's exactly it. So let's do this. We got 2 picks in the 5th round, 2 picks in the 6th round. Kicker is going to be one of our picks, Dom. I'm sorry. It's just how this plays out every year, every week. So let's give each of us a pick to round out this. We'll go Matt, me, Dom as our draft order because that's how we're stacked right now. So Matt, you get the pick at this spot.
Okay. Can I throw a little bit of a curveball in here?
Go for it.
Can we see if Jackson Hawes is still there?
I love it.
Yes, he is. That's a pick.
I'm doing it. Yeah. I want this team, their identity is supposedly going to be a ground and pound run team. Jackson Hawes is a nasty motherfucker as a blocker, dude.
He sure is.
He sure is.
I love that. Kyle McCord is here, but I in my heart I feel like I can't do it.
I'll let you do it. I'll take the next. Oh, it's your pick anyway. So what am I saying?
It's my pick. Well, God, I really want it. I'm going it. I don't care. Happy with it. McCord. Jet fan. That's what it is. Dom, you're on the board. Tyler Shuck still here. Jonah Mineham, Curtis Rourke, John Williams, Renshaw. I'm sure your guy Frazier's probably still sitting around.
Yeah, Frazier's there. Although Caleb Renshaw is very interesting to me. He might be a little bit. See, I like him. He's more of and I'm not saying skill, I'm not comping him, but like Isaiah Oliver, where he can play slot, he can play safety, he can play both safeties. He's very versatile. I really like his game a lot, but I'm really in the belief that we have to fortify the interior of this offensive line. So give me Miles Frazier.
Miles Frazier it is.
Nice.
Where'd he go?
You're gonna take a kicker with the last pick?
Yeah.
We had no defense on this draft right here, boys.
We have Jamari Caldwell. Speak for yourself. I mean, I'm team kicker all the way, but let's bring it up to a vote between the three of us. What position you think we got to go at 207?
Anything but kicker. ABK.
Give me Mickens for the vibes.
Mickens?
Yeah, I'll take Mickens for the vibes.
Mickens for the vibes. Boom. There we go.
Wow, we fixed the Jets.
I think we did
real
fix
quick,
the Jets.
right?
Tyler Warren was not giving us a good grade for some reason. Best pick, Ozzie Trapillo and Kyle McCord. Thank you very much. Just saying. You know what? I'd be walking away from this draft pretty happy if this was the haul of picks the Jets got.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.